Hello everyone. Um, I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, and this it's kind of difficult to piece everything together. Uh, just a lot of things happening in my life for the past couple of years and so or more, but all good things. But essentially, my story is still being written, and this is, I guess, like a chapter one. It's part of why I titled my channel Bunta Journey, because it's my life's journey, my journey in spirituality. That is kind of my focus recently. So how did it all start? I'm raised a Buddhist. I'm from Thailand, for those who don't know. So I'm raised as a Buddhist. I was going to the temples every day with my grandmother as a kid, but also with my mother as well. It's kind of like a typical like temple in rural Thailand, even though where I was staying with my grandmother, it wasn't that rural. But anyway, whenever I stayed with her, I would go to the temples, and we would go in the morning and also in the evening to pray. For that's kind of like every summer, Thai summer, of course. That would be like around April. So that would happen in the morning, but sometimes in the evening as well for praying and meditation. And with my mother, we also pray every night, like mantra. It's like different from praying in Christianity, or I'm not sure, like Islam, but we call them like just spreading compassion. That's like the literal translation, แผ่เมตตา. So that's like that's the Thai word, and it was really cool. But then I got really into it when I was around 10 years old, 11 years old, I'm not sure. My grandmother took me to this like Buddhist meditation retreat. Honestly, it's not like a retreat, it's more like a camp. It's quite hardcore. The first time I was going was for like people my age. So like they have like children's one and then adults one. The children's one was kind of like really easy. It's like I honestly didn't really remember that much, but there was a lot of meditation, praying, and walking meditation, like movement meditation, and a lot of just talking about generally like about the philosophy in Buddhism and so on. So I also went for the adults one, which was a lot more intense. There was less of things for kids, I guess, because for kids it was more like you have, they have toys. Yeah, they have toys and they have cartoons. All like cartoons, about Buddha, about something else. I honestly didn't remember, it was so long ago. But the adults one was like really intense because it lasted like longer. The children's one lasted 4 days or something. Adults one lasted 8 days. 8 days, 7 nights. And I did that twice. So in total it was like 16 days. Not together, but like apart. I don't know why I'm going into detail with this, but like it actually kind of was a really crucial foundation of my belief, because there we did a lot of meditation. We would wake up at 4 a.m. and start the day with meditation, praying, walking meditation. Then you have breakfast. And then again, do the same thing, walking, meditation, praying, meditation, and kind of talk about their own experience and just generally talk about Buddhism, the Dharma, so all the principles and the knowledge. So a lot of my core knowledge actually came from there. It was really good, honestly. So I really enjoyed that Buddhist meditation retreat as a child, and then I kind of stopped ever since then, because growing up, becoming a teenager, I didn't just kind of being a teenager, so I just got, I guess, just got carried away with all of the things. I think it's a common thing for a lot of people too. And even though for me, it was more like, I, for sure from that camp, I understood that, the thinking side of it, the like having open-mindedness and the compassion and so on, those are way more important than actually practicing. Well, okay, that's what I believed in, but there are many different paths. And then I kind of didn't really go back until very recently. I had like an action, like I felt like it was kind of like a, I guess the closest explanation I could find so far is probably Kundalini awakening, because it felt just like I just cannot describe it. Like words are definitely not great at describing the sensation. You just have to feel it to understand it, and I totally understand. Like people who might not understand what that means. It's just like what the actual we're supposed to. But I will try my best to like describe what I felt. So what I was actually doing. So one day, this was actually in July last year. I was really stressed with work. There was just a lot of things happening, and I decided one day, you know what, I'm just gonna take some mushrooms and go meditate somewhere alone nearby the river and just take a super chill day and like just kind of tune off. Never done that before. I've done mushrooms before, but that was the first time doing it by myself and going, just meditating with it. That was actually my first time. And when I was doing that, I felt like, so I just kind of like, a lot of people would say like, just follow what the mushrooms kind of taking you. And I was doing that. I was just kind of like stretching a little bit, kind of meditating, closing my eyes, looking at the sun, like having my eyes closed, and just like kind of chill. And then suddenly it like kind of hit me, like there was a sensation rising from the bottom of my spine going up to the top of my crown chakra, which now I understood. At that time, I wasn't really into the chakras. Like I had put like spirituality on the burner. By that time, I wasn't really into it. Like I said, like I was into it when I was a child. Then I stopped, and up until recent moment. So, so that feeling was kind of mind blowing. I felt connected to the universe. I felt like I connected to the people who've connected to that source consciousness. As best I could explain. It's like a feeling, a sensation. It's like an inner knowing. You kind of like, when you got there, you were kind of like, everything was just clicked. Like I felt what Buddha felt, what Jesus felt, which is interestingly, I'm not a raised Catholic. I like Christianity in like more artistic level, but I'm not in any way like religious. Like I never did praying, like I'm not a Christian by any means, which I'm going to talk about, because now I'm kind of like, why, oh my God, like actually a believer. Oh, that's again, I need to talk about like my faith in God and everything else, because as a Buddhist growing up, I wasn't raised to believe in like an actual like entity, like a God, like God created the world and so on and so forth, like Christianity and Islam and Judaism perhaps, but again, I'm not a religious expert. So anyway, I wasn't like that part, the God part, like wasn't like a thing in for Buddhism, but we believe in like the universe, and we believe in like powerful beings, like God, like demigods, angels, and so on, but not in the way that in Christianity would believe in God, because we believe in samsara, which is like the cycle of life and death, rebirth and reincarnation, and so on. So if you could be reborn as a demigod, or you can be reborn as like a demon in hell, depending on your karma. So that's similar to Hinduism as well. So that's what I believed in. So yeah, so when I had that awakening, quote unquote, I felt like I was connected to all the people who have been connected to the source. It's almost like a source of knowledge, a source of consciousness, and so on, which included Buddha, Jesus, whoever else came before. And it's kind of gradual realization. Like I felt a lot of like basically people of faith in all sorts of religions. It's not really limited to those two. So that gave me like an unlock in my head, that I understood that a lot of what we believe in, a lot of religions and all kinds, we are kind of saying the same thing, but from different perspective. And I'm gonna quote this from Jainism, because I just recently read about it, which is very similar to Buddhism. In Jainism, this is so profound, like the way they describe it. So they said that reality is extremely complex. It's extremely complex, so much so that as us as individuals, we have different unique like perspectives, and its reality is made out of from like millions, infinite like amount of these different unique perspectives, that get obtaining an absolute truth is basically almost impossible. It's infinitely impossible, because there's just so many different perspectives, just like infinite amount of it. And that just gave me like, like an understanding that that's probably why we all have such different explanation and meaning, and like the feeling behind everything, the life that we live in. And that's probably part of our purpose, because as the time goes on, and as beings continue to perceive, continue to exist, continue to experience, it just kind of adding on to the endless possibilities of experiences, like collection of knowledge and so on. So it's basically just collecting data, just like keep on going, and that in a way, like each perspective is valid in its own merit, because that is their perspective, that is my perspective, that is your perspective. But the point is, we keep arguing about which one is correct, but we forgot to just stop and actually understand what actually matters, which is existing together, coexisting, and loving each other, and working together and collaborate. That is one thing is for sure. I think part of science as well, why it's so successful, is because science isn't like, well, that's what Einstein said, the universe, like the physics, this is how it works, and that's what Newton, and Newton, they don't own physics. Okay, they have their own theories, laws, whatever. I'm not a physicist, sorry. But it can be tested by everybody. Like you can talk about it. It's because that knowledge is everybody's knowledge. It's not just owned by a certain person, entity, nothing. It's just everyone's. Just like the universe, where we live in the universe where it belongs to everyone. So that's kind of like a really revelation for me, that transformed my understanding of the universe, of religion, of spirituality. And I started to open my mind a lot more to explore beyond Buddhism. I started, of course, like with Jainism, Hinduism, just everything. Like I realized that a lot of the languages that, kind of became divisions between us, because we have different cultures, And so that gave me more inspiration to continue exploring those things, which is part of why I really like Christianity. I live in Poland, so I get exposed to a lot of churches and cathedrals and so on, which they are absolutely beautiful. Like the art, the music, everything, even just like the clothing. Honestly, like I am absolutely in love with Christianity because they definitely understood divinity. They felt something for sure because when I look at all the paintings and all statues and so on, they were divinely inspired. Because I'm also now like a creative, like I'm an artist myself, and I understand, like to create something and to build something that to gives like feeling to people. That is a gift, and you need to be able to feel, to be connected to that source, which through you, actually, to be able to perceive such magnificent, like divine something, whatever it was. So ever since then, I just love exploring this topic artistically, spiritually, creatively, soulfully. As I continue down that path, I also developed my own sense of spirituality and my own understanding of life. I remember a lot of what I've kind of forgotten, like the learnings in Buddhism as a kid growing up, and how much I was doing a lot of meditation actually, and part of why I could kind of recover those skills again. Now more so than ever, that I've remembered another thing that I actually possibly, I'm actually quite sure about it, that I have ties to Christianity. I might have been definitely a follower. I was a Christian of some kind. I don't know where, but I was a Christian perhaps, and I have a very strong connection to it. And I remember as a kid, I also kind of sometimes like just recognize songs like Christian songs, like the tunes. Really, I don't really know the names, but like when I hear the song and like the singing, especially Ave Maria, that's like a really popular one, I know. But in Thailand, we're not a Christian country, so there's no way that I would have heard it. There were no churches anywhere when I was growing up, and so there was no way that I could have heard it before. And when I heard that song on like TV or something, I felt like I've heard it before. Like myself, like I know I've heard it before some time ago. Like inside of me felt like I've heard this before somewhere. So that's part of it. And I remember also that before I was born, I made a conscious decision. Yeah, I know it sounded quite bizarre, but I made a conscious decision to be born as myself in this life, as Bunta, to learn about Buddhism, actually it was like to learn the knowledge to relieve my soul from the cycle of suffering, because that's like the end goal of Buddhism, which is was kind of bizarre. And I was like, I remember like about that, like for some reason, and I also remembered that as a kid, like maybe younger than 5, I was telling my mother or something that I was pointing at the sun and was like, well, if you're looking for God, that's where he is, kind of, looking at the sun. That is such a bizarre thing because now I believe the sun is conscious, and in a way, yeah, he is God, one of the many gods. So I think all the stars are gods, or like celestial bodies and so on. I'm trying to piece things together, as I mentioned before. So ever since then, that was July, all of those kind of revelations started kind of slowly like remember I started to remember things that I've forgotten, I guess, over time, which actually led me to believe that spirituality, like spiritual awakening, is a gradual process, and part of awakening is actually remembering about yourself, about what you've forgotten, about the soul contract, the things that you consciously wanted to remember after you died, and going through so many lifetimes and coming into this one, and continuing the duty that you've consciously taken out of, not like by force, by entity or something, but by by good heart. And I believe it, because now I'm kind of regaining that ability as well. And yeah, so where's this leading? So ever since then, I've been really into all sorts of spiritual practices, starting from meditation. I love incense, just something about it. And I, absolutely adore crystals. They are beautiful, okay? I only just recently got into it, just, couple of months before, just for a couple of months. And I cannot, have enough of them. They are absolutely beautiful. They're so pretty. I mean, they're like visually, they're just so pretty. And as an artist, I just like, well, why was I not drawn to this before? They're like right in front of me. They're just so pretty. Um, and and so I've also like talked to a lot of people on Threads. Another thing, yeah. So I I just enjoy learning from everybody, from all the perspectives, and making content that resonates with people. I sense like that I'm connected to like collective consciousness, that we what we're doing, we just want to bring peace and love and all the good kinds, all the good energy into the world, where right now, like, there's just a lot of chaos in the world, and we're working towards a common goal. And that I kind of realize, definitely, I mean, more like a kind of, sorry for my language, but yeah, I definitely believe that this is what I'm here to do now. Feels good saying that, because it also feels good doing it too. I love doing tarot. It's actually, it's super fun, and it's also helps me to speak because I wasn't a really confident person. Honestly, I'm still not that, and I take myself too seriously or not too seriously. It's a lot of confusion, and I would just I would always been thinking that like what I say sounds stupid or something, or I'll sound stupid online and so on. So I kind of avoid, even though it's kind of like sometimes I feel confident, sometimes I don't. It's kind of like a complex thing. But I think what's happening is that I was just struggling to find myself and find my alignment. I didn't really know who I was, and was trying to fit into the mold, and it's just basically all the ego talk. And when you have an ego trying to be somebody, something, you just have to keep going at it. It's just tiring. And so part of like the best thing that I've decided to do so far was just like let it flow. Just let it flow naturally, and have like a goal. And now, like, if I set my intention for the videos I'm doing, okay, I want it, like, the message to help somebody, some way, form or another, teach them a few things or no, or so, and that's it. And I just kind of let it go. And these past couple of months, it's been really, really incredible. Like, I've seen a lot of results. I've connected to so many people. I'm so grateful for all of you. If you're watching this, I'm really, from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea that it made me feel really happy to see that that there are a lot of people, like there's, I have faith in humanity as well, again, and and that there are people who are trying to do good things, and that already enough made me really happy. Because honestly, I have a lot of things in my life. I've gained a lot of many blessings, and I'm very grateful. I actually was telling myself like that I'm really grateful for all of the things I have, and the only thing I wish that basically don't want to die before my parents die. Just that's it. That's it. Because I don't want to make them sad, because it's just like too painful for parents to see their children die before them. So anything else, I'm like, okay, just just that. I just ask like the universe to one thing. The rest, can happen or not happen. Doesn't matter for me. I'm good. And then I just ask for peace and love and abundance for all, and just do my best if I can bring that power from the divine. I try my best, and well, you know what? That's reason why I start to really believe that, because ever since I started to believe in like having faith in God or in the universe, in higher power, things just becomes like spooky, like really magical. And this is where the synchronicities start to really like happen, like really strong. Like all the angel numbers, like I keep seeing them like everywhere. 1111, like 1111, 222, 33, 555, like 666, like all the numbers, 777, 888. It's all the numbers. I was like, wow, incredible. I felt pretty damn. I mean, could be just luck, I guess, but yeah, that I mean, every time I see them, I kind of felt good. So it's kind of a little fun thing, and then things start getting even more interesting. Okay, so where did I start? So, one time, I was meditating by myself at home. This time my partner was away, so I was staying by myself in an apartment. I light a candle, and a bunch of candles actually, and incense. This was like February or March. I don't remember. I actually made a post about this on Threads, so if you manage to find it, it's somewhere there. And I lit the incense, I lit the candles. I started meditating. I went through all the chakras from the root to the crown, just boom, boom, boom. And then I felt a presence, like I'm clairsentient. Now I understand. Now I don't have like auditory, or like my visuals are very subtle, but my sensations, like bodily sensations, are really strong. Like getting goosebumps and everything. So I felt like chill down my spine. I felt like, oh damn, there's like an entity here with me. And of course that made me a little bit afraid, because like oh, maybe it's dark entity or something. But actually I don't really believe in dark entities so much, because I really believe that we have way power over them, and that only if we let them like control us, and like there are actually aspects of our shadow self and of dark energy. That's why they're drawn to us. And so if you hold the light, they cannot do anything to us. Anyway, so I felt this entity, and so I started communicate with them. Actually, I felt very for some reason it was like very feminine and divine, like something like it was divine feminine. I communicate with her through tarot, and the tarot came out was I did a spread where like, okay, I asked like one side where I laid the cards to represent me, and I asked one side of the cards to represent them, whoever I'm talking, and in between are like the message that they want to let me know. Why are they here? Of course, that's like one more thing. Why are you here? What would you like me to what would you like to tell me? And so like on my side, it was really interesting. It was like I got like a full, a zero. I think it was kind of like a beginning. I felt like, okay, yeah, I definitely felt like I'm really more like innocent and just kind of in this journey, learning a lot of new things. And there was like number eight, which, you know, I'm a number eight. So I can't remember, but there was other cards that has to do with like some divine feminine or something like that. But I felt strongly that it was talking about me. The more interesting part was like the cards about them, though, because one was, I remember clearly, one was judgment, you know, so like God. Second was, I believe it was the star. The star is a very feminine energy. It and the third card was number eight. I think it was number eight of coins, I believe. I have to look that up. So it's like infinity, divine feminine, the judge. So it's almost like felt like it was like a mother. Yeah, like I instinctively I understood it was like a like divine mother. I actually started to calling her that, divine mother. Because when I said it, I felt immediately like I felt good saying it. And the card that like was telling me, like the ones in between, what they wanted to see, what she wanted to tell me, and basically I understood was like to keep doing what I'm doing, to keep spreading like the love and compassion, the helping others in the content that I'm doing. And I felt like it was my purpose and that I'm building my purpose. And so I've communicated back that I want to receive all the blessings, to kind of like do like a vow, let's just say that if I were to use the power, whatever it is, like the things that I'm doing, I want it to be intentionally for good, for whatever it might be. And that I, try my best to uphold like the values of good, like the also the Buddhist values as well, because I, like compassion, love, joy, equanimity, loving kindness, and like being neutral, like the middle path. I believe in that, and love, compassion above all else. So yes, I kind of did a little vow. I was really into it. Like I felt really good, and I felt like chilled on my spine. It was like really really awesome. And all this time, by the way, like when I do like rituals like that, I would just turn on. I like to turn on like some meditation music and so on. And so at some point, the meditation music got stopped. Sorry, there's like a fly. Okay, okay, it's just gonna keep bothering me. Anyway, so I turn on the meditation music, and when it stopped playing, it turned on another video, and that video was this woman is reading Gospel of Mary. Which, I'm not a Christian, I don't know, but apparently that gospel was like a lost like chapter of the Bible or something like that, but it was lost for a time. It was recently discovered like less than 100 years ago. I believe in the 1950s. So that Gospel of Mary, and this lady, she started reading like the verses, which actually basically made me cry. It's like about love and about being like the I felt like I was being so unkind to myself before. I had really toxic, a lot of hate about my own. Like I just, just growing up game was really hard. So just trying to be perfect all the time just made me really exhausted. Just, yeah. And her words spoke to my heart, and I cried. Which, by the way, I felt the same entity, now that I remember, when I had my Kundalini awakening, in that time when I mentioned. So that was just like extremely such a beautiful synchronicities. Like they're just huge, like huge divine feminine energy that's kind of been surrounding me, and now I'm beginning to understand the reason why. But uh, that's, I guess, it's like the story is still being written. And another like synchronicity was I've asked my divine mother. I was like, okay, if you existed and you are here to help me, to guide me, so I asked, okay, to carry like the part of your work, like to spread the word. I would, I want to manifest like this like life I want to do this as my career, and and do this part of building my purpose and so on. I wanted to do it, um, and for to do that I need to get in touch with people who are on similar paths, and who are who feel connected to, so that because I generally I wanted to learn from everybody. um, I don't feel like I'm an expert in any way, and I wanted I wanted to find a community where I can talk about this kind of stuff, because I didn't really have anybody in my life to talk about it. My partner is not, he's a little bit spiritual, but he's definitely not as much as I am. And the only other person is actually my mother, who thankfully that I have her to talk about all of this stuff with. Anyway, I wanted to basically expand my circle, because I believe in that power in connecting with others. And so I did that. I tried to manifest that, and I got connected with so many wonderful people on Threads. Like, you all are just incredible. One particular person, I think like they're from India or something, and they told me I I'm like deeply rooted in feminine. Which again was like, wow, that again like came up again. That was really interesting. And the recent one that I did, like I did Reiki with this girl, Caitlin, from like I think her handle is like Celestial Reiki, Angel Reiki. That's what she did, which is incredible, and she did it for free, which I'm super thankful for, because that was actually just yesterday, and that was so incredible. Like it's so subtle, but you felt it's like gradual energy just kind of enter my body and around me. And she said the same thing. Like she had a presence of Mother Mary, which was like, I'm not raised Catholic, I don't know, but I'm really thankful. I was like, wow, it's just like there's huge um, synchronicities there. Another story was, I recently had a dream of Mother Gaia. I had no idea. I was like, I knew it was Mother Gaia for some reason, because like, and she was saying that like she's gonna take all of us with her, as our consciousness racing, and that we are protected. We're just like, thank you, Mom. Basically like talking to Earth, and I felt so connected to Earth now more than ever. Like she's here for us. She loves us so much. She's like mother of all creations. Just beautiful like energy. Um, and I felt just so loved. Yeah. Another part that another synchronicity was, remember when I recently so in the video I was talking about how like the Gospel of Mary, this woman was talking about, was reading the Gospel of Mary that was found in the tomb, which by the way, actually, I was like, I thought like the Gospel of Mary was was I thought it was was words of Mother Mary and not Mary Magdalena. Some people said it's actually people said it's like more from from Mary Magdalene, not from Mother Mary. I'm not sure. My tuition felt like it was from Mother Mary. Maybe I'll make another video about it. I'm not a Christian, so I don't want to speak out of turn or something like that because I'm no way an expert in that knowledge. So I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, so it's found in Egypt. It's found in Egypt, and another synchronicities I had was also just recently, like a couple of months ago. I was in Berlin, and they had an exhibitions of like Egyptian artifacts. They have it for quite a while, I think. And there they had a bust of Nefertiti. Okay. And I had like a biggest tingling of my third eye was just it was pulsating. It was like crazy energy from there. I was like, damn, it's giving off like, what was that? Like, definitely huge magical item. My mom said there's spirits in there. Thai people actually said like there's spirits in most things, which I think is just energy. But I believe in it that there's some kind of entity, some holy energy in that bust, very divinely protecting that artifact because it was it was just like magical. Okay, just undescribable. And then again, it's just like she's a woman, she's a priestess. It's just incredible of how all of that synchronicity is just all lining up that I have, that are speaking to me. And that's basically my story as much as I could remember. Relaying it to you, hoping you understand. So yeah, it's incredible. Now this is like summer solstice. This is why I chose today to do it because Mr. Sun, he's like super hot. He's really close to Earth. He's giving all of us so much energy, and I wanted to use that energy to channel into a creativity and make this video for you guys. And I just talk, whoever wanted to listen and just kind of vibe with me because my story is still being unwritten. It's like the song "Still Unwritten." I love that song. Yeah. So now where I'm at in my life. I'm doing my, you know, my content here on YouTube. A lot of it on TikTok as well, on Threads. I do tarot and I make content about this. I'm thinking about getting to Reiki so eventually, and I just love all of this. And yeah, that's it for this video. I'll leave it for part 2. So yeah, thank you for watching.